How about you be on your back the whole game too, you punk?
Yeah, but you gon' feel it, Cooley. I'm telling you, you gon' feel it.
I told you keep that camera running, you might miss something.
We're going to be in your face and letting you know the real talk.
This is the NFL, which stands for Not For Long.
And welcome, one and all, to the Not For Long Division Round Playoff Show. Noah Groniger, Clint Schweitzer. We're ready to go. Steelers Chiefs, we've got a huge show.
Yeah, we do. This is the best Chiefs-Steelers coverage you're going to find anywhere. We've got it right here on the Not For Long Pro Football Show because we have not one, not two, three huge guests coming up here, including our special video correspondent, Sean Salisbury, as he does every week. He's going to be breaking down this game. Also, former Steelers linebacker, two-time All-Pro LaVon Kirkland coming up.
And our current Steelers linebacker, Arthur Moats, good friend of the show, been on several times, so we'll get the current take on this game.
Yeah, we are, and this is, it's time to batten down the hatches. It's playoff time. The nasty weather is coming to Kansas City, and so are the nasty Pittsburgh Steelers. They're riding an 8-game winning streak in here, much like the Chiefs rode a 10-game winning streak to New England last year. We're going to find out just what these teams are made of. The Chiefs haven't been in this position since 2003 to try to win this home divisional playoff round. They're here. The time is now. Kansas City's going to have to get past this hump, but it's going to be tough. When you got the three-headed monster of Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, and certainly Antonio Brown coming in here, this is going to be a big-time matchup. I think this is going to be a classic, and predictions we might save for later, but
yes.
This is going to be a big... I think the Steelers are susceptible in the secondary. The Chiefs' offense getting better. When you got Artie Burns, Ross Cockrell, the corners for Pittsburgh, I think, are very susceptible. They haven't played that well this season. You pick on them, you get Travis Kelce going, you get Tyreek Hill going, and you make this team try to beat you, and I know that they can offensively, but this Chiefs defense is going to have to be up to the task here today on Sunday.
It is. It's going to be tough. I mean, you've got Le'Veon Bell running the football. If it's going to be inclement weather, they can really control the line of scrimmage, control the run game. Can the Chiefs do the same with Spencer Ware? I don't know if they can. So getting the ball to Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Jeremy Maclin, it's going to be tough if it's inclement weather. It's icing out there and cold and snow and who knows what it's going to be. But like you mentioned, they can't take advantage of those corners out there. And I look for that to be the matchup. Tyreek Hill making some plays in special teams. And they didn't face Justin Houston last time. We're not sure what kind of Justin Houston we're going to get. But he's had a couple weeks to let that knee heal. Hopefully we can get after that quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. He is a different quarterback on the road than he is at home. 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions on the road.
Yeah, 15 interceptions this year, and I was just getting ready to make the point about Roethlisberger. He's one of the best. He's a Hall of Famer, surefire, first ballot Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, 2 times in Pittsburgh. But you know what? This season especially, you've seen Ben Roethlisberger hold on to the ball a little too long. He's fumbled the ball several times. I think he has 8 fumbles on the year as well. Kansas City, the Chiefs as a team, they feast off this kind of thing. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to have to feast off these turnovers. They're going to have to turn this team over because the Steelers are going to be relentless offensively. You saw what they did in Miami. They did not let up. They got the ball to Antonio Brown. They had Le'Veon Bell carve them up. The Chiefs cannot allow that to happen. They cannot allow slow, methodical drives.
In that first matchup, they only gave up 64 yards receiving to Antonio Brown. They kind of shut him down. He did have 2 touchdowns in the red zone, but yards-wise, they shut him down. So it's really going to be the focus on Le'Veon Bell and trust your corners, Terrence Mitchell and Marcus Peters, to deal with Antonio Brown wherever he lines up.
Well, this is it, man. You're trying to etch yourself into immortality. It's the divisional playoff round. You're trying to get to the championship game. The Chiefs trying to get there for the first time since '94, and it is time to welcome our first guest of the show. It is our good friend.
Yes.
Things are friendly here with our good buddy, outside linebacker for the Steelers, number 52, Arthur Moats. Arthur, welcome to the show. This is going to be a classic coming up here on Sunday, man.
Yes, indeed, man. A lot has changed, man. But, hey, we're excited about it. Always good talking with you guys. And, it's playoff time, baby.
Hey, you can't beat it. You're talking about this divisional round. You guys have won 8 straight games. The Kansas City Chiefs coming in here hosting this game, 12-4. You guys played earlier in the season. I mean, and handled the Chiefs. You told us that was going to happen, actually, and you said, "Hey, you come out here, you better get yourself a terrible towel." And we didn't do that. The Chiefs lose the game. You guys win that. But these type of games, you guys lost. You guys lost to the Dolphins earlier in the year. Games that happen early in the season, it doesn't really have much bearing, but how are you guys approaching this exactly?
Yeah, honestly, we understood, what happened early in the season, but at the same time, that was so long ago. I mean, the dynamic of, the team with the Chiefs has definitely changed. I feel like us and all these phases have definitely changed. Guys are, playing different roles and things like that. So, I mean, we're looking at it as, they're the number 2 seed for a reason, and we understand everything that they're capable of. We understand their weapons in all 3 phases. So it's definitely going to be a tough matchup, but we're excited about it. And ultimately, it's a game that we have to win in order for us to get to what we truly want.
Clint mentioned that 8-game winning streak you guys are on. Your defense really turned it around. That's been a big part of this streak. What changed for you guys from earlier this season to the defense we see now?
Man, I would just say that guys are definitely being more accountable, in every aspect of the game. I felt like when we went through that 4-game losing streak, we had times where guys were, just taking different plays and having bad plays. They would go, 10 plays and, okay, one guy has a mental error, this guy has a mental error, this guy has a missed tackle. And, at this level with the caliber athletes that are out there, you can't have that and expect to consistently win. And I felt like once we got through that phase and guys really started buckling down, I feel like that's where we were able to go on this 8-game run and ultimately have us in this position right now.
Well, a big change for you guys this week. Your linebacker coach, Joey Porter, has been placed on leave. We don't know the full details, but has it been a distraction for you guys, just not having him there, being asked questions? How will it be different, and what impact will it have come Sunday?
Oh, it definitely isn't a distraction. Honestly, we understand during this time of year, all our focus is on is winning. So, anything that can happen on or off the field, whether it's injuries or a situation like with Coach Porter, we're all focused in on just the game. So for us, any questions that we've had, we've been, blessed with the opportunity to have Coach Butler, step in and be our outside linebackers coach. So that's been really, pivotal as far as our development this week and getting better. And anytime you can have somebody who's coming from the defensive coordinator position, who is basically overseeing everything, and have him, bring his details to a particular position, I feel like that's definitely helped us out a lot.
Arthur, I don't know if there's a team in the NFL that is a reflection of their coach as much as the Pittsburgh Steelers and you guys are of Mike Tomlin. And he said something interesting, leading up to this game. He said that for you guys, for him and for the Steelers, it's about you guys. It's about what you guys do. It's about the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. And whoever you play, it's like going out and playing nameless, gray faces out there.
Nameless gray faces.
Yeah. So I guess you agree with that then.
I definitely agree with that, man. And it's so the truth, because we feel like if everything is even, we have the goods. We know we have the capability to beat any team. And when it comes out, in these games, we know if we just play our game, we'll be fine. And that's ultimately the biggest thing we try to preach. Don't go out there and do more than what you normally do. Go out there and just execute, do your job 100% of the time, and we'll be fine.
Well, somebody that you guys are definitely going to have to look at on the offensive side of the ball for the Kansas City Chiefs is Tyreek Hill, a guy that was not really a factor when you guys played the first time, but Tyreek Hill, the way he's doing it on special teams, out of the backfield as a slot receiver, he's just a guy that, as a defense, you guys have to identify. He brings something to the league that really no one else has been able to. He's a rookie, but my gosh, he's just electrifying. How do you guys find him and kind of keep him under wraps? Because it's been tough for a lot of defenses this year.
Man, well, yeah, you're definitely right about that. What he brings to the table from his speed and just overall elusiveness, he's an extremely tough guy to match up with. And, if you watch that first game, he ran back to punt on us, and it got called back for a block in the back. So we know firsthand, how dynamic of a player he is. And he's another guy that I was speaking of earlier when I said guys with roles that have evolved. When we played him the first time, they wasn't really using him on offense that much, but now he's one of the focal parts, where there's jet sweeps or running deep routes. So we understand that we definitely have to give him different looks to try to keep him off balance. But ultimately, we have to stop the run and get up and just keep Alex Smith disruptive, because we understand, with that particular West Coast style offense, everything is time and everything involves, being on schedule. So it's important to keep them off.
Well, let me preface this next question, Arthur, by saying I think Le'Veon Bell is the best, most complete back in the National Football League. But he comes out saying, I think I'm changing the game. I'm what Steph Curry is to basketball. Now, he's an extremely patient runner, but haven't we seen this before with Barry Sanders and Marcus Allen? And do you think this is bulletin board material for the Kansas City Chiefs in their locker room?
If they need extra motivation, cool for them. But, I feel like what he's definitely saying is true. If you look at his style, even with Barry Sanders, it was still different than what Le'Veon is doing. And when you think about Barry Sanders versus Le'Veon, his size and speed combination as well and his elusiveness, I feel like, what he is doing is pretty different. Put it like this, right? Everyone has seen three-point shooting, right? You've seen Reggie Miller, but you wouldn't say Reggie Miller's the same as Steph Curry. And Reggie Miller's a Hall of Famer. And that's kind of how I look at it. It's like, Barry Sanders is a Hall of Famer in his own right. He's one of the best to ever do it. But I still feel like his style is still different than Le'Veon's, and that's, I could be biased, but I feel like when you're seeing this every day and you've been watching it for the past couple of years, it kind of speaks for itself. It's magical,
Yeah, definitely. And another guy who's magical and charismatic is Antonio Brown, fellow teammate of you.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But please tell me you guys have been giving him a hard time about this Madden 17 commercial coming out. Kind of dancing, singing, not the best singing voice. Tell me you guys are kind of giving him some Simon Cowell treatment over there.
Not at all, man. That's AB right there, man. You know, he's always going to be pushing the envelope and whatever he's doing, whether it's his attire, whether it's his hairstyle, the commercials. I mean, one of my favorite commercials from him is the ESPN receptionist.
Yeah.
Like, this is the reception, that's right. You know, like, I just love that, man. He's like, oh, yep, another one, you know? So, you know, that's just AB. But, man, when you're playing the way he's playing, man, nothing you do is not going to be cool. And that's where he's at right now. I mean, you saw the performance he had last week in the wild card round.
Oh, yeah.
You saw he's been playing all season. So he's just one of those guys that whatever he's doing is going to be winning.
Well, Arthur, you know, you've always been one of our favorites, and the things you've done for us here, we can't even explain in words what it means to us, the way we're able to communicate with you and get an insight from you. It's unbelievable, especially here in Kansas City. And they did, I thought it was wonderful on the broadcast during the Steelers-Dolphins game. We got to see, your name painted in a light, in such a positive light that we've been looking at this whole time. They talked about all the things you do for the Ronald McDonald House and all the things that you do, things that are, that you, of course, don't bring up yourself. This is something that's great. You were the NFL Man of the Year, candidate from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and just great to see that how you were painted, the way that you were talked about. Man, it was just great to see it, and we're just glad to see you get those kind of accolades. I know you don't want them, but that's just for us. It's great to see it, man. We're really proud of everything you do.
Man, I definitely appreciate that, and like you said, I mean, when you do philanthropic work, when you do charitable stuff, you don't do it to get recognized, but it is cool to get some recognition now. I mean, just let you know that you've been doing it on an extremely high level, and ultimately it's something that I definitely strive to continue on. I want to continue to use this platform to just make a difference.
Yeah, that's what it's been about, and we were championing you, definitely trying to push you over the top there as the voting was coming in for NFL Man of the Year. And I know that that's just something that you don't even look at as a personal accolade, but something that does bring light to the charities that you are involved in. And I think that's the important thing here. And we were really behind you, and we want you to know that. And that's what's important here. And with all that mushy stuff out of the way, we got a game here on Sunday, Arthur. And I'll tell you what, it is going to be raining, sleeting, freezing rain. They're talking half-inch of ice here in Kansas City. I know it's cold in Pittsburgh too, man. This could be an interesting one. This could be some weather, and I know that you guys, when you're out there, you don't really notice that, but it could be kind of crazy here.
Man, that sounds like perfect Pittsburgh weather. That's what I would say. Rainy, snowy, icy, all that good stuff. It's great weather for defense, great weather for big hits, and trust me, we are all on board for that.
Yeah, well, we're on board with it too. What's it like coming into Arrowhead, especially with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, explosive players on offense? You guys have a big challenge ahead of you. What factor does playing in Kansas City and this raucous Arrowhead crowd play into it as well?
Man, playing at Arrowhead is an extremely tough place. I've, played over there a couple of times when I was in Buffalo, and then obviously last year as well. And when they're making big plays defensively, when they get any type of lead, that crowd is insane. And, it's one of the fun places to play in because of that. But at the same time, with that being said, it's important for us to start fast. I feel like if we start fast and we make our big plays early, that's going to keep the crowd kind of out of it. And it's going to be important that we do that because obviously we know, playing at Arrowhead is totally different. You see a totally different Chiefs team, and that's ultimately what we're expecting.
Well, we're glad to welcome you guys here. Pittsburgh's a class organization. Mike Tomlin, one of the great coaches in the NFL, a surefire Hall of Famer. You've got a surefire Hall of Famer there at quarterback, probably at receiver, probably at running back too. I'll tell you what. So this is going to be great, Arthur. I'll tell you what. We can't thank you enough. Like I said, everything you've done for us here at the Great American Sports Network, and this is just a brand we've built on our own. And thanks to people like yourself coming on, we got LaVon Kirkland coming up later in the show. Former outside linebacker. He played at 300 pounds, man. That's going to be interesting. I don't think he'd want to play at 300 like he did. He was 300-pound outside linebacker, 9 years for the Steelers, and he's coming up after this. So this is a Steelers-centric show, man, and we wanted to give you guys that. And I'll tell you what, let us know where you're going to be at here once you get in. Shoot us a text, and we'll try to come down and say hello this weekend, man.
Okay, sounds good. Like I said, I'll find out tomorrow. I'll definitely let you guys know.
Hey,
all right, Arthur. I mean, if there's one team, we don't know what's going to happen, but if we do lose, if there's one team we could lose to, it's you and the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll be rooting for you the rest of the way, no matter what happens.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. Definitely do.
Hey, Kansas City, don't cross the moats, right, my man?
Yeah.
Hey, no doubt.
Hey, thanks a lot, Arthur. Good luck.
All right,
care.
no problem. All right, goodbye.
And a huge thanks to Arthur Moats for coming on. I mean, just talking about Le'Veon Bell, he thinks he is changing the game like Steph Curry did. I mean, guys, we're shooting threes. Steph Curry's just doing it better and from further back. And Le'Veon Bell's doing the same thing. We've seen patient running backs, but Le'Veon Bell's changing it. And how he's walking up to the line of scrimmage and then finally finds the hole and boom, he's gone.
Yeah, he has done such a good job. He is the most complete back in the league, and it's great to hear from our friend Arthur Moats. I hope we can catch up with him before the game, man. He's been such a Dutch. He's been so instrumental in getting us to where we are here on the Not For Long Pro Football Show on the Great American Sports Network. He goes back with us since he's been with the Bills.
Yeah.
And it's just a pleasure to have him. And
I kind of disagree with him on the Joey Porter thing not being a distraction. I think it's just kind of speak, and they're trying to make themselves believe it. Sorry, Arthur, but I think Joey Porter, that's a big loss for them. He's been there all season. He's been there for the past couple seasons, and that's a familiar face and a familiar routine and coaching style. And now they're changing it up just the week before this divisional round playoff game. I'm sorry, that matters, and that's going to be a factor for them in that linebacking core.
Yeah, absolutely is. And we're going to get a perspective of this because the last time these two teams played in a playoff game, it was in January of '94. Joe Montana was the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. Marcus Allen was the running back, and Bill Cowher was the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We're just going to keep things rolling here on the Not For Long Pro Football Show. Former Pittsburgh Steeler, big number 99, LaVon Kirkland. LaVon, two-time All-Pro with the Pittsburgh Steelers, drafted in the second round, playing with greats like Rod Woodson, Carnell Lake, Greg Lloyd, Chad Brown, Kevin Green. The list goes on and on. That 95 season, you guys make the Super Bowl. Just kind of take us into that season and finally making the Super Bowl against the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, it was amazing because, we started off kind of slow. We were 3-4 at the time, and I thought Bill Cowher made a brilliant move where he basically told us just to forget about the 3 and 4, that we're going to start our season right now, and we're going to start off 1-0, and we actually won that game. So we're like, man, everybody was saying we're 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, and we got all the way to 8-0. We lost our last game against the Packers, and that turned the season around because he really changed our mindset. We became more focused on, the task at hand. And the really great thing was, as teammates, we started going out together. Like, it was mandatory that we all go certain places. And that helped us to become closer to each other, talk to each other, and I really felt that we were on a bigger purpose, and we were playing for more than ourselves. We were playing for our fellow teammates, and I think that really changed us around, made the difference, and we had an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl and had an opportunity to win it, but we came a little short, but it was an incredible feat for us.
Well, you were All-Pro in 96 and 97, I believe. I mean, you have the record for most consecutive starts at inside linebacker position with 160 consecutive starts over your 11-year career. LaVon, I mean, what a career it was for you. I mean, talk about just playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers and what an organization it is. There's no secret that Pittsburgh is one of the class organizations in football. Here they find themselves once again, winning a playoff game and about to play a divisional game against the Chiefs. But you played there 9 seasons, and you're a part of the terrible towels, the traditions, played in the Super Bowl. What does Pittsburgh, just playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, what does that organization mean to the NFL? I mean, it's just one of the best organizations in football, no doubt, and you were a part of that for so long.
Well, I just think that the Rooney family, they do it right. And along with a passionate fan base, along with the legacy that they have, especially at linebacker with Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, Eddie Russell, Merriweather, those guys have had linebackers throughout the years. And I really believe playing linebacker at Pittsburgh, you either step up to the plate or you don't, because you have something bigger than yourself to hold up to own. And I felt that, playing there really helped me professionally, because now you know how to really, how to play. You become a professional and you know how to work. And that was a great thing about Pittsburgh. You just had that winning attitude. We had that aura about ourselves that just wasn't going to stop. So I love the fact that I played with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, what do you see out of this current Steelers team? Obviously, they beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins beat them earlier in the year, 30-15. They come back, they get revenge, and now they're coming into Kansas City, where they beat the Chiefs earlier in the season at Heinz Field, 43-14. They just showed that you can't look at past results. So, what do you see this game coming this weekend?
Well, Kansas City is a tremendously tough place to play, and I think, it's going to be a tough test. There's some distraction going on with Pittsburgh, but, last week they looked good, but, in the playoffs, in the NFL, it doesn't really matter what you did last week. It kind of matters what you're doing now. But, I think Coach Tomlin will have those guys ready and prepared, and should be a very good game.
Well, the last time that the Steelers and Chiefs played on the field in a playoff game was that 94 playoff game, the divisional or the wild card round, where you were on the field playing and here in Kansas City. Talk about your memories of that game. I mean, Joe Montana led a late comeback. That was just an unbelievable playoff game. A lot of people forget about it, but Kansas City comes away with the win that day in overtime. But what a tough physical game that was in the freezing cold day, I believe, here at Arrowhead on that old turf. Just kind of what are your memories of playing at Arrowhead in that game and kind of playing against Joe Montana, and what a great game that was.
Well, it was a thrill playing against Joe. And, Marcus Allen was on that team,
yep.
too. And I was a pretty young linebacker. That was my first year starting. I ended up having 12 tackles in that game, a tackle for loss. And it really gave me a great deal of confidence coming in because, that was really the first year I ever played that position. And so I remember it being a tremendous game. I really thought we had that game locked. I thought we played well. The year before we went to the playoffs, and it was like tremendous. So it wasn't the results we wanted, but I think we grew from that. We understood that we can play playoff football, and it was a game that I really cherished and really grew from, and I enjoyed it. It was a great atmosphere too, man. And they had the best aroma. I mean, barbecue cooking all over the place.
Always.
And they treated you so well once the game was over with. I mean, the barbecue and the chicken that they had, man, was tremendous. So I love going to Kansas City. It was a great atmosphere. It's like a college atmosphere. So.
Yeah, that's what we provide here in Kansas City, the good barbecue, the college atmosphere. What's up for you currently, LaVon? You got the Bill Bidwell Fellowship Award in 2015, coaching the Arizona Cardinals outside linebackers. You just finished up your second year. Are you going to continue coaching with the Cardinals?
Well, it really looks good for me to be there. I may have some other opportunities, and we're going to go for there. But at some point in time, I'm going to, this year I'm going to land a spot, and then I love being under the Cardinals organization. Working with BA, you learn so much about football, and I want to continue to coach. I feel like I am a great coach, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to keep advancing and keep working and just getting better at my craft. So, this is my time.
Well, we're here in the divisional round coming up this weekend, where we're going to have to hold your feet to the fire and ask you your Super Bowl picks. Who comes away with the trophy? Who you got, LaVon?
I got to go with the Patriots right now. I mean, you never know. You're never certain, but they look to be doing everything on all cylinders. Tom Brady, it's just hard to go against them, so I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Absolutely. Can't go wrong there. And I tell you what, LaVon, it's just been great catching up with you here, talking about some of your time playing, talking about your current coaching gig, which, congratulations for that. I bet that was just been an amazing experience. I know you've been moving up the ranks from high school to college. Here in the NFL, the sky's the limit for you, man. And what a great player you were. Again, 11 seasons, 9 with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 160 consecutive starts. That's pretty good for a guy that played close to 300 pounds there, man. You were one of the best big linebackers that really ever played the game, man. That's good stuff.
Well, thank you for that compliment. I mean, it was unique, so kind of like being an outlier. Sometimes I didn't always embrace that fact, but being able to, the great thing is I get a lot of people who play Hall of Famers that remember me as a player, and, it's just a uniqueness that I had, and it worked for me. And I was able to keep moving at that size and do some pretty amazing things, but I really want to make sure I fulfill my purpose as far as coaching is concerned, that I do help young men become better, not only players, but give them some wisdom that maybe can help them in their lives. So, this whole coaching thing is just more than just about me. It's about making sure that I do my part, and I feel like that's my calling. So I'm going to continue to go forward with it. Thank you so much about the compliments of my career. I really appreciate that.
Hey, absolutely, and congratulations on that national championship for Clemson. I know you'll hold that close to your heart forever, man, and congratulations on that. Congratulations on where you're going in the coaching ranks. We'll be watching, and can't thank you enough for joining us, Levon. Have a great one. Happy New Year to you, and we'll catch up soon, my man.
All right, sounds good, bro.
Been an honor. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Well, don't accuse us of being homers. We're here in Kansas City. So pumped for this game. We've just had two Pittsburgh Steelers, a former Pittsburgh Steeler just then in LaVon Kirkland, and a current Steeler in Arthur Moats at the top of the show. Great to get their perspective. That's what we do here on the Not For Long Pro Football Show. And we still have our Sean Smack Unfiltered coming up with Sean Salisbury. Going to break this game down a little more. I know there's other games on the docket. We're going to get to our pick segment at the end.
Yes, we are. Just stay tuned.
More important than that, I mean, this game just jumps off at you. It's probably, one of the more intriguing matchups of the weekend. I know you got Dallas and Green Bay, but I love this Chiefs-Steelers game in the cold. Two AFC teams going out, trying for the right to probably get to New England. Definitely to get to New England. And with that, we've got our guest, and he's coming off a knee surgery, and thank him so much. Our video correspondent, Sean Salisbury, and it is time for his segment, Sean Smack Unfiltered, talking about Chiefs Steelers. What do you got for us, Sean?
All right, guys, thanks. A little under the weather, but I just had knee surgery yesterday, so I'm playing hurt. Okay, so I'm giving you this video in a casual state, watching a little TV, a little Chiefs Steelers preview, if that's okay. But like I said, just got out of surgery yesterday. Boom. The drugs and all that and the ice today, all right? But that torn meniscus isn't going to stop me from getting you guys your video. Kansas City, Pittsburgh, a couple things to look for. One is, can Kansas City stop the Pittsburgh Steelers run game? The dominant physicality that Pittsburgh's able to impose upon people. We know about the big three. When you stop one, you got to deal with the other two. But the key here to me is, because if Ben drops back a lot, I think Kansas City can impose a pass rush. But the key here is, can they stop the run? Can they stop the run on first down? First down will be a key, not just third down in this game. Keep an eye on first down, how many yards Pittsburgh averages on first down. On the other side of it, can the Pittsburgh Steelers prevent the special teams big play? The Kansas City Chiefs special teams are unbelievable. We know what Hill's done all year long, but he scored from the backfield, wide receiver, kick return. Can the Pittsburgh Steelers keep up in the special teams game, the return game, or the coverage game? That'll be something to keep an eye on. And if this game gets into a shootout for the Kansas City Chiefs, can Alex Smith keep up vertically? With Hill, yes. Kelsey's had an amazing season at tight end, and that's going to be the challenge for the Pittsburgh defense. They played as physical as they've played all year long, should I say. They look like your dad's Steelers on defense last week. They were physical. The key here is, you can't let Kelsey beat you in the passing game. Other than that, you limit that, and then you limit the Kansas City Chiefs, because I don't know if they can run the ball over the Steelers as physical as they were last week. So keep an eye on those matchups. And if Kelsey doesn't take over the game, the Kansas City Chiefs may have to win some other way, and that may be on defense and getting some turnovers. Can they stop the Steelers' run? Back to you guys. Good luck to the Chiefs and the Steelers. And we're in the divisional round, heading closer to the Super Bowl.
Thanks so much, Sean Salisbury. Been with us all season long. We got a few more weeks left to Sean Smack Unfiltered. It's a little sad. I love the unfiltered takes. I love bringing it to the guest, everybody out there. But we've got our picks to make. Chiefs Steelers, big matchup, divisional round. Chiefs got the best of them back in the wild card playoffs in 1994. Who's it going to be?
I've got the Chiefs in this game, and I've got it 27-24. So, all the things we talked about coming to Arrowhead, the Chiefs finally get this monkey off their back as far as winning a divisional round at home, getting back to the AFC Championship game for the first time since 94, like you said.
I was all set to pick the Pittsburgh Steelers. I went through kind of some notes here, went through some stats.
Did some algorithms, did some math.
Yeah. I just
carried the three. What'd you come up with?
Square root of Ben Roethlisberger on the road equals the Kansas City Chiefs win this game. He's a completely different quarterback. 20 touchdowns at home, only 9 on the road with 8 interceptions. I'm sorry, he's just a different quarterback for whatever the reason is. He's got this foot injury. He's in a boot. Who knows how effective he's going to be moving around in that pocket. I think Justin Houston's going to get after him. I've got this game 27-20. The Kansas City Chiefs take it down. I think we both have the Patriots. Unless
Speaking for me, I might go with the Texans. I might just pick the Texans.
Well, I'm going with the
Picking for
Patriots.
me?
Please go out on a limb. Please do this. Please, let's put money on it.
No, I've got the Patriots 37-13. Sorry.
Darn it.
Not a lot of intrigue there.
Packers, I think we disagree here. I like the Cowboys. I think that offensive line, especially, is going to just maul that just inconsistent Green Bay Packers defense. They're not great on that side of the ball. Dak Prescott is poised. Ezekiel Elliott might be the MVP, although maybe Matt Ryan, he's a rookie, maybe doesn't deserve it yet. Definitely Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, with a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back playing against Aaron Rodgers and these red-hot Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers is an assassin. They get the job done. They win it by 3 in Dallas, and that score is going to be 31-28.
All right. What about this Falcons-Seahawks game? Matt Ryan, I just mentioned, probably going to win MVP of the year. But the Seattle Seahawks come to town. They have the experience. They have the know-how. They've been here before. They've done it time and time again. Who gets the better of this matchup?
Yeah, they say defense travels. The Seattle Seahawks defense has traveled all over the country the past 4 years. They've won a Super Bowl. Not this time. The Seahawks won on a controversial pass interference call in Atlanta early in the season. Falcons get this one. Matt Ryan riding that offense high. Julio Jones. It's all going to happen. The running game's better. Offensive line is top-notch. I like the Falcons. Dirty Bird.
Interesting. The good money says pick the Atlanta Falcons, Noah. Pick them. Please, just pick them. Be safe. Don't go out on a limb. I'm going Seattle Seahawks. They're missing Earl Thomas in the secondary. That's huge for them. So you're saying, okay, you're just making more points as to why you should pick the Falcons. What are you doing? I'm going back to it. The experience. Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, Richard Sherman, Bobby Wagner, Cam Chancellor, they're going to figure out a way. They're going to do it. Michael Bennett, they're just going to figure out a way. They've got Jimmy Graham. He's playing like he was in New Orleans. He's an X factor for them. Doug Baldwin, disrespected. Russell Wilson's getting it done, getting out of the pocket, making big plays. This defense is going to find a way. They're going to edge him out 31-30. I like the Seattle Seahawks going on.
Noah, it's time to batten down the hatches, get to the store, get the loaves of bread, get the milk, get the frosty beverages.
The ice, she's a-coming.
It's a-coming. It's time for these playoff games. It's time to bolt the door and get this on, because next week you're going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about both championship games, and I'll tell you this much. Here on the Not For Long Pro Football Show, we can't thank you enough for listening, for watching, listening on iTunes, which we are now available for free. And,
free?
Yeah, all this time you haven't been listening. You got to subscribe also on YouTube.
I've been spending money like we're charging people for this thing. I'm going to have to go take some stuff back. I hope I can find my receipt.
Give me your PayPal account on the way out, man. Thanks so much. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit us up on our website, GreatAmericanSportsNetwork.com. That's where it all goes down.
GASN Sports, Twitter. We love the interaction, love the feedback. Let us know. Are our picks crazy? Was I crazy picking the Seattle Seahawks?
Yep.
Yeah, I probably was.
They got all those social medias in like a 20-second. That was good.
Yeah.
20-second span.
Usually people just drag it out.
Like, we're just like...